And they haven't put the software back on. Remember when they took the software off and I wrote them? They still haven't put it on yet. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, so I'll just use the other way. I ain't going to wait on anybody. All right. First question from this chapter. I don't know. I haven't looked. But this is section 6.1, 27/11. 27/11. All right. This problem says, well, you can write it down. It says 3x squared minus 4xy plus 5y squared. X is equal to 3 and y is equal to -2. The reason I'm writing more with my mouse is people say I go slower. So, trying to help y'all out. So, I'm going to rewrite this. Now, remember, what I tell you, the two words, I may not have told you, but evaluate and determine. When you say evaluate and determine, what does that mean? It means plug and what? Plug and chug. So that means we got to draw sets of parentheses. If y'all are not on your phone or anything. 3 parentheses squared minus 4 parentheses plus 5 parentheses squared. And now I'm going to plug in my 3 right here and right here, and plug in my -2 and my -2. All right, go ahead and finish it. Did you get a donut? Everybody got a donut? Did you get one?
Me? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna leave me one now.
You can have mine as well.
No, I'm just kidding. I just want one. Are we going to use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? Yes, because there's all kind of cousins up here. There's addition, there's multiplication, there's subtraction, there's all kinds of cousins up there. The first step would do what? Please. What does please mean? So that would be 3 squared is what? 3 times 9 minus 4 times, what's 3 times -2?
-6.
Plus 5 times, what's -2 times -2? +4. Negative is inside the parentheses. Okay, now what? Well, we've still got, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because you got multiplication, subtraction, multiplication, addition. So that's cousins. So that means do the multiplication first. 3 times 9 is what?
27.
And what's -4 times -6? And 5 times 4? And now we got sisters. So we go left to right. 27 plus 24. Well, let's back up a minute. What's 25 plus 25? Okay, so 50 minus 3 is 47. Minus 1 is 40 what? It should be 46. Right? Or did I do that wrong? No. It's wrong.
71.
No. 51. Because of this one, this right here. Let me go back. That's right. This is 27. This is over. So that's 25 plus 25 is 50. Minus 1 is 49. Plus 2 is what? 51. Or you can just do it the other way. 51 plus 20 is 71. So your answer should be 71. And that's your answer. Let's do another one just so you'll have two, because you'll have one question on the test like this. And I just did it for you, so y'all do that one. I don't know what they changed, but they changed something. What was that noise? That was my Facebook. I thought it was somebody on Skype. So 5x squared minus 5xy plus 7y squared. X is equal to 3 and y is equal to -2. What changed?
The numbers?
Okay. I'm going to put a 3 in there and a 3 there. What was the other numbers?
4, 3, 4, and 5.
These were 3, 4, and 5. Oh, I didn't know. I was looking at these changing. Okay. All right, so let's do our parentheses and exponents first. So what's 3 squared? 9. Minus 5 times -6 plus 7 times what? 4. You know the secret to doing these type problems? Do everything step by what? Females usually do good with these problems. Why? Because they do them step by step. Males, I don't need to do it step by step. I can do it in 2 steps. And they're the ones with the most careless mistakes. So 5 times 9 is what?
49.
What's -5 and -6? I mean, -5 times -6. 30. And then 28.
Why did you change it to add? Because it made it harder.
What's -5 times -6?
30 below me. I mean,
-5 times -6 is what? Positive 30. Or you could say minus, what's positive 5 times -6? -30. So minus a -30, it's going to be coming out to what? It's going to be a positive no matter what you do. Use your distributive law. 5 times 9, negative 5 times negative 7. 7 times what?
Why do you change it to the?
What's negative 5 times negative 6?
I got it. I got all that. But why are you changing the subtraction to an addition?
You're not.
Positive.
You're not. You're saying a negative times a negative is a what?
But why are you doing addition?
Because that's
You got to have something there.
that's a positive sign.
Like signs or what?
I got all that. I said no.
What you're doing is you're thinking that subtraction is different from a negative. Or, it's the same thing. See, so many students think that. They think that this has to stay down here as a negative. This is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. You put a positive there. It's as simple as that. So don't feel bad. I've had so many students think that.
It just looks like from the first problem, from the first thing, it looks like it says 5x squared.
Minus.
Whatever, minus
It is.
5.
So what's negative 5 times 3?
It doesn't look like it's 5x squared, negative 5.
Yeah. You're looking at it as subtraction. Don't do that. It's negative. And that is normal from students because they get confused. That's the same thing. And you're saying to yourself, I never knew that. Yeah, that's a negative 5. Well, I can tell from a lot of your questions that you might have had Hubert syndrome. Either you didn't listen to the teacher or the teacher wasn't worth the crap. One of the two. So some of mine was both. 45 plus 30 is what? 75. Now, wait a minute before you blurt out anything. I'll show you how to add this easily. What's 75 plus 30? 105. Minus 2? 103. Now you hear about Common Core.
Yes.
That's what Common Core is supposed to be. Common Core is supposed to be taking two numbers, adding them together in a way that you don't have to go 75 plus 28 and then 8 plus 5 is 13, bring you 1, to do it in your head. But what they've done is they've taken it to the extreme like everybody does, and now you can't even do it. I can't even do it. I don't even know what they're talking about. Common Core was originally designed for you to be able to take 75 and either add 25 and then add 3, or take 75 plus 30 and subtract 2, or take 70 plus 30 and do it that way. Those 3 different ways to do it in your head. That's what Common Core was supposed to be. But somebody got a hold of it and said, oh, we can make this into the big thing and we can make money off of it. And that's what happened. So, yeah, I told my son's teacher, if you use Common Core, I will not tell my son to do it. I told her the first day. I said, because there's enough confusion with math, period. Okay? Common Core, the way it's supposed to be done, helps, the way I just explained it to you. But what they've done is they basically reinvented the wheel. And now students and parents are confused. So, anyway, look, made her mad. She's leaving. You going to be okay? Okay, she's not feeling well. Okay. I think she had to go to the restroom. All right, so let's check and see if I know what I'm doing. Because I know what I'm doing, that means I got it right. I got 103. That means if you got something besides 103, it's broke. You want to do another one? All right, let's do another one. You try that one. This one's so easy, I'm going to let Miss Martin show you how to do it. You'd be surprised, I was sitting in your seat when I was at Tri-County Tech. Turned over a desk, got mad. Yes, I did. Yep, I got mad. I was sitting in Cleveland 122, right there where the ramp that goes like this,
Yeah.
right across the hall, right in there. And I was in developmental math, learning how to do fractions. And I got mad because I tried to get a common denominator and I was multiplying. And I just got mad because there were so many rules. There's only 2.
Yeah, that's why you threw the desk.
And I threw the desk over, and Mr. Green said, you come back tomorrow, and we're going to have a discussion before you come back into the room. I left my stuff there, books and everything. I just left them there. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody say they never know how to do math. I couldn't even dang old do fractions.
It's kind of solid when you come to college and relearn all this stuff that people in high school.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to blame, in my case, it was because of football, girls, and I blamed it on the school. I can't even tell you who I had for math. That shows you how much I paid attention.
But you became a math teacher because you had heard a lesson.
What'd you say?
You told me the story of how you became a math teacher.
Well, that was after I got to Clemson.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of sweet on this little girl, and she was helping in the biology lab. And I went with her up there. I was just going to sit up there and wait because she was helping explain biology to students. And that one door over was the math lab. And I went over there just to see what they were doing, and there was a student sitting there, and they were waiting, and I said, what are you doing? And they were doing algebra. And I started, and that night, she finished, and she was waiting on me because I was in there helping, and then I changed, next day I changed my major. I was a second semester junior in engineering.
Wow.
So I only had one more year to be an engineer. So, who doesn't say who? Don't say never. Because if somebody was told me when I was graduating West Side that you were going to be a teacher at Tri-County Technical College, I would have laughed at them. I would say, yeah, right. What are you drinking? And people that knew me would have laughed at you. This is no joke. One of the assistant coaches I met up with 5 or 6 years later at Pizza Hut, when we had Pizza Huts, back then. And how you doing, so-and-so? And he said, how you doing, Hubert? And I said, how are things going with you and your family? He said, fine. He said, what are you doing now? I said, I work up at Tri-County Tech. And he was like, yeah, come on now, tell me what you're really doing. I said, I'm working at Tri-County Tech. And then he said, Hubert, I know better than that. I said, I'm the janitor at Tri-County Tech. He said, oh, okay. He thought I was the janitor. You okay now? Okay, you don't feel good? I kind of figured you didn't feel good. We're not going to give you a hard time, okay? Usually I give you a hard time, but you didn't look like you were feeling good.
Okay.
Oh, no, don't say that. See you. Get better.
So he said he was the janitor?
He thought I was the janitor, and he said, oh, okay. I told him I worked at Tri-County Tech. He said, there ain't no way you work at Tri-County Tech because you got to be a teacher. You got to be smart to be a teacher. So,
I did it.
let's see. You probably got it wrong.
I think I did too.
3x squared minus 6xy plus 5y squared and you know what it was for me, Miss Martin? You know how you did the -6 and you didn't know? Mine was distributive law. Once I figured out the distributive law, I started making A's. I never did understand the distributive law. I never did understand that a negative in front of the parentheses meant a -1. And once I figured that out, I did algebra without any problem. So, I figured that out. I threw a book because of the distributive law. I didn't turn the desk over. I threw a book. I did -3 times x minus 2, and they kept getting -3x minus 3, whatever. And I would get the opposite because I wasn't distributing the negative. I was just distributing the number. And I'd get so mad. But y'all don't get mad, do you? Y'all get all this stuff and no problem. 3 times 3 squared minus 6 times 3 times -2 plus 5 times -2. Running out of mouse room. Sorry, my mouse is running out of room up here. I only got a little area right here about the size of my hand. 3 squared is what? 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So you can go ahead and do that. -2 times 3 is what? -6 times -12 is? I'm sorry. I just had a brain bubble. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay, hush. No, I'm just kidding. 36. I don't even know what I wrote now. -2 squared is 4 times 5 is what? 20.
I had the most trouble with 36.
You had the what? Mush turtle.
Trouble.
Oh, I thought you said mush turtle. I was like, what? All right. What is 25 plus 35?
Or you can just add the 20
60.
together and get 47.
Good. 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 You're doing it. Good.
20s are easy.
Yeah, 20s, anything ends in 0 is easy. But the reason I did 25 plus 35 is because it's closer. And 25 plus 35 is 70. So that'd be 73? 83, I'm sorry, 83. So 83 plus 20, 80 plus 20 is 100, 103. What did I say?
103.
Oh, I thought y'all said this was 83. I'm sorry.
Sorry, the answer.
The answer's 83.
Okay, well then this is 25 plus 35, 60. 63 plus 20 is 83. Y'all messed me up. It's y'all's fault. Did y'all get it right?
Yes.
See there?
Oh my God. We have some of the same.
Well, we'll do another one. How about that?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, we'll do another different problem. We'll go to our handy dandy homework. Squeaky door gets OIL. You got to tell me if you want to do problems over. You got to say something.
Why do you spell out oil?
Because I don't say it. I don't say it in public. Because I'll always get some smart aleck, but I'm gonna punch in the nose, telling me I'm not pronouncing it right.
You say oil?
I say oil. I don't say oil. And I won't say oil. Just because some Yankees telling me I'm saying it wrong, no.
Are they bad at doing that?
Yankees are bad about telling you you're wrong all the time. You didn't know that?
No.
Yep.
No, I didn't. No.
Yep. What? Oh, you tell me I'm in the wrong class? Yeah, I thought you were telling me I was wrong. That's the difference between a damn Yankee and a Yankee. See, a Yankee will just live beside you and talk to you and everything's fine. Okay? A damn Yankee tells you do everything wrong and they won't go back up north. That's the difference. You do everything wrong, you're stupid, you're racist, and I'm better than you are. That's what a damn Yankee is. And if y'all don't think they exist, they do. You don't hear a thing about a damn Southerner because Southern people don't go up north. That ought to tell you something. What chapter are we in? 5 or 6? 6, isn't it? Now that problem we just did was a good test question, okay? Because I picked those out, but I'll pick out another one as soon as I get rid of this because I really don't need it. Sorry. There we go. That one's got a check mark beside it. Yep, that's one. Okay, why does this one say determine? Because determine means what? Who's saying something? You got to solve it and see if it comes out to be balanced. So do that one. I'll blow it up for you. What? I guarantee you somebody gonna say, well, y'all are on the back row. There's only 3 people on the back row right now. I can't see. Listen, there could be 15 people sitting on the front row. As soon as I pull it up, somebody gonna say, can you blow it up? It would be not equal. Let's say like 7 is equal to 10. Yeah, just leave. Negative x squared plus 6x. Is the x right here in parentheses? No, it's not. So you better watch it. Plus 6 is equal to 21. This right here, determine. That means plug and what? Plug and chug. So what are we going to plug in? 5. Is this in parentheses? No, it is not. So negative 5 squared. That means the 5 is squared, not the negative. Plus 6 times 5 plus 6 is equal to 21. Now, what is 5 times 5? And then with a negative out front, what is it? Negative 25. Now remember, I told y'all that. I told y'all that if there's no parentheses, the only thing that's being squared is what? The 5. What's positive 6 times positive 5? I don't know what that was. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be equal to 21. Why? Because negative 25 plus 30 is only 5. 5 plus 6 is what? 11, Hubert. Thank you, class. So your answer would be no. Oh me, I got it right. So if you got yes, that means what? Something's broke. That means you ought to live in a ditch. Let's find another evaluate. No hiccuping in class. There we go. Another test question. If you can't do it, just consider yourself what? A failure or a loser. I'm sorry, I was reading something.
I'm over here.
Somebody posted a picture of Bernie Sanders, and it says, "My first day of president, I will instruct the agriculture department to plant the magic trees that all this free blank will grow on." Money. You know, money tree? Okay, forget it. Okay. So 5 parentheses squared minus 4 times parenthesis plus 7 parenthesis squared. And we got a 3 here, got a 3 here, got a -1 here, and a -1 here. What's 3 squared? 9 times 5? What's -4 times -3? Nope. Plus 7. Now you can do this one several different ways, but I'm going to do 12 plus 7 is 19, which is close to 20. So 20 plus 45 is 65, minus 1 is 64. Is that what y'all got? But you see what I just did? You just added 3 numbers in your head with just adding 2. There's some people that will reach for a calculator to do this. Y'all feel good about yourself now? Good. Now I can discourage you. Kick you while you're down. 64.
So times -1 is the same number.
Huh?
Times -1 is just going to be the same number.
Yeah, -1 times -1 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. -1 times 3 is -3. -3 times -4 is +12. All right, now 6.2. Probably going to be talking about algebra. Yep, linear equations. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to go with the white screen. I got to write. I can't do that. I can't do notes with the mouse. I'm sorry. All right. Now, with algebra, most of you have had pre-algebra or intro algebra or whatever. And algebra is pretty simple because you take addition x plus 4 is equal to 8. And you're told that this has got to balance. You got to find the number that makes x balance, makes the equation balance. So you're told the theory of equality, whatever you do on one side, you got to do on the other, and you're told that. So to get x by itself, you got to subtract 4. And if you do it on one side, you got to do it on the other. Some people say that this is a river, and when you cross the river, the +4 turns into a what? -4. Either way, you're going to get x is equal to what? 4. And all of you know how to do that. That's not the problem. You go over here to negative. X minus 3 is equal to 10. And how do you get rid of -3? Or you take it across the river and it becomes +3, whichever way you want to do it. And x is equal to what? 13. Now, what are you supposed to do with these to check them? Plug them back in. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 is equal to 8. That balances. 13 minus 3 is 10. 10 is equal to 10. That balances. So you can put them back and check them. Multiplication. 3 times x is equal to 21. How do you undo multiplying by 3? If you divide on one side, you divide on the other, and x is equal to 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 is equal to 21. It balances. And division. X divided by 4 is equal to 2. How do you get rid of dividing by 4? Huh? How do you undo dividing by 4? Multiplying by 4. So that's going to give us x is equal to 8. And if I was to give y'all 5 of these questions, all of you would get them pretty much right. Why? What are you doing? That's the 3rd time I've said something like that. All right? Now, why do people get it wrong? Why do they get these wrong? They don't get these wrong. What do they get wrong? They get the long ones done. Why? Because you've got several things to put with this. 1, you've got the distributive law. That thing used to give me problems. Okay? You've got fractions and decimals. And you've got combining like what? Terms. You put those 4 things in with these basic equations, and y'all blow gaskets. Fuses. You sit there and stare at me with this dumb look. So, we're going to learn how to do this one first. Okay? I'll leave this on the board for you. Because I am writing with the pen, so I'll probably go a little bit fast. I'm sorry. So, let's look at this. 2 times x minus 3 is equal to 4 times x minus 2. Now, if you know how to do this, go ahead and do it. If you don't, just meditate. Write it down and meditate. Om. Allah Shaka. Combining like terms. Now, one thing in algebra, you've got to get all your x's on one side and all your numbers on the other. Now, ain't y'all ever fooled with concrete before? Let's say you're pouring some concrete. Let's say you're doing something for the house or whatever. And you're pouring some concrete in a box. And you're going to make a stepping stone or something, or I don't know. Don't ask me. Just go with it, okay? Huh? Go with the flow. So this is 6 inches by 1 foot by 1 foot. Okay? And you pour your concrete in there. And while you're at it, you're mixing the concrete, you're getting it all where to be smooth, and your ring falls off in the concrete. Now, if you're a woman, that's a big deal. Men, they don't care about their rings. Most of them don't. We won't tell you why, but that's usually why. Huh? Guys don't want people to know they're married. That's why. Dang on, I pawned mine. Anyway, make a long story short, you put the ring in there, and when you put the ring in there, it cures. And what happens when it cures? It goes in here, and your ring is down here in the bottom of this thing, and you think how are you going to get it out? You smash it open with a what? A BA hammer. There's your hammer. Don't laugh at my hammer. That hammer busts up your concrete, bust it up, and you get it into pieces. Now, what's your objective? Find the ring. What is your problem? The block of what? Cement, concrete. And what's your tool? Hammer. So here is your block. Here is your ring. And how are you going to bust up the block? You bust up the block with the hammer. That's a Hubertism. You ain't gonna get that in any book. Huh? You ought to read my 26 indicators that you're a loser. I want to publish it one day. It's made for women to know that you're with a loser. Or when to run. Actually, I was going to write a book one day. When to Run. That's the name of the book. And the first thing on the indicator list, if they wear sunglasses in a building or in the gym, run fast as you can.
What the front cover of your book gonna look like? What's the front cover of your book gonna look like? What picture?
A woman running away from a man, basically a little stick figure woman running away from a man. Huh?
You gonna put a stick figure on?
No, you know how they draw stick figures, professionally? And it's just gonna have a stick figure of a woman running away from a man, and he's gonna have sunglasses on and smokestacks coming out of his. Oh my gosh, I gotta say this. I was going down the road yesterday, and there was a Jeep Cherokee with a smokestack on it. Now, the reason they did it, I'll tell you why they do it on a Jeep. So they can go underwater with it, as long as the intake, but the intake, he didn't have an intake that high. So I don't understand.
The snorkel thing that goes in the
Yeah.
front right there.
But it didn't have that. All it had was a pipe. Now, this is a gas-burning Jeep with a pipe, with a pipe about that far ahead of the. And I'm like, why is it above the roof of the truck and there's no snorkel? Because the snorkel, if the engine can't breathe, it can't run. And plus, you'd have to make them watertight. It didn't make sense. And it was all rusted.
I know which Jeep you're talking about.
It's a white Jeep, isn't it? It looked stupid. I wanted to follow the Jeep to take pictures of the guy that got out of it, because I swear he was going to either be short or bald-headed, or we won't talk about the third one.
He lives on Earth. He is so short.
That's it.
Like, one of those, stepladder things.
Anyway,
2 times negative.
I thought I'd share that with y'all. But that's an indicator. I could share them all with you, but it'll take too long and somebody complain. So bust that up. What is 2 times x? 2x. What is the number one error that students make on distributive law? They don't do the sign, and they throw a book at the teacher, like I did. No, they'll forget to multiply the 2 times what?
3.
That's what they forget. Equals. All right, what does this hammer do? 4x.
Negative 8.
Now, we've just busted up the block, but what? You still got little blocks. So now you got to get the bigger blocks over here and get the smaller blocks over here, and then decide which ones to break up. So let's move the 2x over here. Now, this causes people to have heart attacks. Because my teacher told me that you have to put all the x's on the left-hand side. That's a bunch of bull crap.
My teacher told me that.
Okay, well, they're stupid. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Is that a negative 3, or is it just?
It's a negative 3. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Okay, does that help? Now, a lot of people say just what you said. I'm going to tell you a story. Anderson and Hubert.
Why you gotta pick on I?
Okay, stir. Stir. Okay, we on Belton. Oh, I'm sorry. People that live in Belton, they say Belton. But people that don't live in Belton, they say Belton. Belton. I live in Belton. Or Williamson's even better. I live in Williamston. All right. So in Anderson, you take your kids to the park or whatever, playground at the local school. That's what my son gets if he gets that. All right. Jody is your son, and he sits on this side. Jody. And Susie sits on this side. Susie. Okay, Susie and Jody. Okay. Now let's say that the parents are divorced and they're sorry parents, okay, because they're divorced like me. And Jody and Susie goes to visit their mama or their daddy in Belton. And They want to go back to the park. They want to go to the local school again. Well, Jody has to sit on this side, and Susie has to sit on this side. True or false? Jody has to sit on the left-hand side in Belton, just like he sat in Anderson. Huh? Why? There's no law that says that Jody has to sit on the left side and Susie has to sit on the right-hand side.
So it doesn't matter.
Say what?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Then why does it matter what side you put the X on? It don't. Then why do you move it the way you're moving it, Hubert? Because there's a rule in mathematics that they don't tell you about. Keep. Oops. Kept. I suck. Keep. Huh? Nope. That, you know what that means? You've had matrices. Keep, change, keep is matrices.
What?
Nothing. Forget it. Keep. I don't want to blow any minds. Keep the variable. What? Positive. Keep the variable positive. So I'm going to tell you another little story. This is a Hubertism. On the farm, I got a barn. And I got a barn, and in that barn I keep my feed for the cows and stuff. And there is yeah, my barn is leaning. Okay, shh, be quiet.
I didn't say that.
And I got a 55-gallon drum of feed for the horses, and I got a 5-gallon bucket of feed for the horses. And your job is to feed the horses every day. Now, which one are you going to use? 5-gallon bucket. Why? 99% of the people you tell, because they ain't going to do it. The 1%, they're going to go in there and sit down and go to sleep. Okay? They aren't going to do what you tell them. So you go in there, 90% of the people, 99% will pick the bucket. Why? Because we're all naturally lazy? No. Have you ever tried to pick up a 50-gallon drum of horse feed before? It weighs about probably close to 1,200 pounds. So it's impossible. So most people go with the smallest bucket. What in the heck does that have to do with this? Where's your smallest bucket? 4X or 2X?
2X.
So you're going to move the smallest bucket. Now when you move the smallest bucket, that makes your variable always what? Positive. Because that's a negative 2x. And the minus 8, you don't care about the 8, whatever it comes out to be. All you care about is this variable. You want it to be positive. Plus 8. So 2x is equal to what? 2. And x is equal to what? And that's how you do distributive law. I'm sorry, what?
It really is.
I said that's like the easiest method.
People get it wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it wrong sometimes, but I like it.
All right, let's try it again.
Yes.
You ready? 5 times x minus 1 is equal to 4 times x plus 3. All right, y'all do that one. What? Who y'all talking about?
Not you.
What?
Some loser.
Did you have a smokestack? If you date a guy that looks at his car 5 times before you get in the building, run.
What if that's your brother?
You're not dating your brother, I
No,
hope.
I'm trying to be with your brother. If you hang out with your brother.
No, you're not running away from your brother. I'm talking about things that develop into worse things. These things that I'm talking about develop into worse things when you're talking about a marriage. Like bad stuff.
5 times negative
5x is 5x. 5 times -1 is -5.
-5.
Yep. That's because somebody has taught you or not taught you or you didn't listen, one of the 3. That's done the correct thing. So tell me about the loser. I want to know. Tell me about the loser. See if I got an indicator for it.
He's serious.
You don't have to. I was just trying to make conversation.
Now I want to know
I want to see his indicators. Do you have it on your Facebook page?
No, they're in my head. I haven't never written them out.
Wow.
No, there's my head.
So that list is endless, man. I don't know.
If he wears too much cologne, oh my gosh, there's this guy that comes in the store near the Bilo out there, and oh my gosh, you can smell him before he comes in the store, you can smell him during the time he's in the store, and you can smell him like 15 minutes after he's left the store.
They like swim in their phone.
What if they look in the mirror for longer than 5 minutes?
That's another indicator, looking in the mirror.
You probably do that.
No, I don't. I know I look good. I don't have to. And my hair is perfect, so I don't need to worry about that. I knew y'all'd laugh. I can have fun with y'all. Y'all about the only class I can have fun with.
Oh.
Other classes are,
I'm stuck.
I make a joke and they just sit there.
You have my brother.
In what class?
It's Sean Dixon, whatever class he's in.
Yeah, but I can't remember names on them. You got to tell me what class it is. 120, 103?
Probably 120.
Calculus, college algebra?
It don't even matter.
Well, what'd he say? Did he say it's a boring class?
No, you're fine.
Well, I'm fun, but the class could not be. What's 4 times x? 4x. 4 times 3? Where's the smallest bucket? 4x. You bring it over, you get x.
What are you doing?
I can't tell you. I'm not answering questions right now. Brought the 4x over. You bring it across the river, it turns into what?
How you bring it over?
You just bring it over. How do you get rid of 4x? You minus 4x. However you want to do it. And then you take this 5 across the river. And what does that make that 5? -5. Makes it a +5. So x is equal to what? 17.
You just did it this way.
All right, who's got questions? Jan?
I thought this was multiplication, and then you put it in.
It is multiplication. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're trying to divide by 4 here.
That's what I always do.
You can't do that. You've got other things going on. Before you can divide, you have to have all your x's on one side. You have to have all your x's on one side before you can do anything. Okay? Got 6 minutes. I'll go ahead and call the roll. Huh? One more? All right, let's do another one.
Why does it matter which 4 or 5?
You're trying to keep the variable positive. And if you move the smallest one, you won't have to worry about 2 or 3 steps more later on.
That's why he's talking about which one.
Keep the variable positive, yes. Move the smallest bucket. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you a negative. This, just do what I tell you. You'll be all right. You were that way with fractions too, and now look at you. You're doing fractions, aren't you? Yes, you are. You said you were.
Only because your notes, if you just do a fraction.
I know. Oops.
That's a good thing. Make all your stuff go on.
I like your shoes. Not that I'd wear them or anything, but I like them.
Everybody calls them Jesus shoes.
That's what I was going to call them, Jesus sandals.
Wow.
Not that I'm going to go out and buy a pair and wear them around the house or anything. But I got to get my son today.
Oh.
Thought me and him had a cake party tonight.
Mr. McClure, come on now.
I can see that.
Yeah. We have them often.
PG version?
No, he drinks Budweiser. All right, here we go. Distribute that -2 and distribute that -3. What's -2 times x? What's -2 times +2? -3 times x. And -3 times -6. Now be careful here, because you got to ask yourself which one is less. Which one is your smallest bucket? All right, which one is least? Okay, now let me ask you a question. What would you rather have in the bank? Would you rather have $100 in the bank? Or would you rather, no, I'm sorry. Would you rather have -$100 in the bank or -$200 in the bank? -100. So which one is least? The biggest negative number is the least. So which one are you going to move? You're going to move the 3x over. And that becomes, it doesn't matter, but when we get to inequalities and you're doing a time test, you're going to forget the negative and you're going to forget to switch the inequality and you're going to get the whole problem wrong. So that's why I don't teach either way. I teach the correct way. And I know that sounds awful when you say that, but I'm teaching to keep the variable positive so you don't have to worry about 2 extra steps later on.
Are you plus 3x?
Plus 3x, good. So that gives you x minus 4 is equal to 18. And I wouldn't have to teach this method if it was taught correctly to begin with. Instead of, oh, you have to take all the x's on the left-hand side. Then people shouldn't be teaching.
So when you came down from -6 to +18, because it changed to positive, you made an addition symbol?
What's a negative times a negative?
I got it.
Positive. That's it. Negative.
So because it's quote unquote positive, you put an addition symbol on it. That really does not make any sense to me.
Well, there's no other way you could do it. There's no other way. Because if you put a negative there, it's going to give you the wrong answer. All right, let me call the roll. Y'all can work on 6.2 now. That'll put you further and further behind. Hopefully I can get y'all way behind and y'all get discouraged. Huh?
That ain't right.
Doesn't matter. I'll fail y'all anyway.